So I like the kid that's coming in. The kid out of Florida that's coming in. Playing the two-gap system. When you're in a two-gap system, this is the lesson that
educators
here,
Jurk. Educators here.
When
the issue was people on social media were saying he's getting out. Well, not even just social media. We had people on TV as well. He's slow out of his stance. He's getting out of his stance too slow. So educate us on why that's not an issue.
So when you're two-gapping, your initial reaction is side to side. That's your reaction. I'm going to mirror the guy in front of me. I'm going to go to side to side. I'm not going forward as much. I'm going on an angle side to side, depending upon what the center is going to do.
Right.
Or if they put him in an even front, what the guard's going to do. So my job is not to penetrate and to come out of the blocks like Usain Bolt. My job is to come out with kind of feelers out and see which direction this guy's going to go. And then I got to be able to mirror this guy. So two gapping is side to side. One gap is going forward.
Right.
One gap is coming out of the blocks. This is a one gap penetrating defense. I'm sure there was a familiarity with this young man when he was coming out of high school, and he was a 5-star recruit, probably just like Jalen Carter.
He was above Jalen Carter.
There you go.
Yeah.
And so Jalen Carter goes to a defense where they're playing a penetrating style defense at the University of Georgia, and all his skills come to light.
Yes.
Right? This guy goes to a Florida system where all of a sudden the defense coordinator, I don't know when they came in, whether these were the guys that recruited him, there was a coaching change, there was a philosophy change.
There was a change.
All of a sudden, I go from playing a penetrating style defense to a two-gap system, which is probably no idea. In college, I played a penetrating defense. In high school, penetrating defense. I go to Miami Dolphins, they're playing a two-gap system.
Yeah.
And I'm reading the screws. My old coach, Dan Sikonovich, your D-line coach down there, read the screws. Read the screws. I'm like, what the is this guy talking about? And I look up there, and there's two screws in the helmet that are right there.
Yeah.
So he's saying, read the screws, look at the screws, and the screws will take you where you need to go. I'm like, oh, okay. But you can't be aggressive.
Yeah.
You got to be timid. I played in the blue-gray game. They played a 3-4. I got to be timid and play a two-gap system. It's not what I do.
Yeah.
I'm not a two-gapper. Ted Washington. Big Ted, take two gaps up. Joel Steed from Colorado. Joel Steed was a two-gapper.
Yeah.
I'm not a two-gapper. I'm a penetrator. So,
well, shout out to you.
So that's the dilemma with people that are trying to analyze. Don't analyze them. You don't have good film on them.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it.
You don't
let them get into the system. Let them get into the track meet. Let them get off the ball, and let them see. Now, when you penetrate a yard and a half, and that's it.
Yeah.
And it's find the football. Penetrate, find the football. They let you free. If you're free after a yard and a half, you better start looking left and right. You get your periffing on because somebody's going to give you a shot in the ear hole.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you get free on the defensive line, somebody's coming to get you. You just got to find out from where. Okay. So that's what he's going to have to become accustomed to. Both of these guys. Because if you got a penetrating defense, I like trapping penetrating defenses. You trap them, they take themselves out of place. All of a sudden, you got areas you can run. And it'd be good playing a penetrating defense if you can do that. Brad Culpepper. Remember Culpepper?
I got you.
Culpepper, and they had a second guy that was a pretty good player. Maybe Tony Johnson. I don't know. Played next to each other, University of Florida in the Sugar Bowl in 91. My brother's team went down there. Jerome Bettis and the fellas.
Okay.
They went down there, and they rushed for a gazillion yards, beat Shane Matthews and the Florida Panthers and Coach Spurrier down there. And what'd they run? Well, they were so aggressive, Culpepper and this other guy, that all they did was start running traps up the middle, and they ended up rushing for like 285 yards because of the traps.
Yeah.
So that's what he's going to have to learn. You can penetrate to a certain point, then you got to settle down, hunker down, play defense.
Yeah.
So, but the penetrating style of defense helps you on play action passes and stuff like that because you're going to the quarterback now, and that could help you in the pass rush as you move forward.
So do you have more confidence in Gervon Dexter because he was able to adjust? Because I will say this, right? While he was getting out late, it sounds like he was doing his job the right way. He was waiting, and you saw him stop a lot, be a very good run stopper at Florida. Do you feel more confident in
6'4",
him coming to the Bears?
313, 488.
Yeah.
That's what gives you the confidence, the fact that he might be able to do something.
And Poles
same thing with Pickens.
Poles believes he can get heavier and still maintain that speed as well.
Yeah. And it's quickness.
Yeah.
And there is quickness. Because you're chasing a running back to the sideline. Guess who's winning? The running back's always going to win.
Yeah.
They're going to win. It's quickness inside, quickness, change of direction. The ability to go one direction, stop, come back the other direction. So, and most of the guys with speed, 4.8 speed, already have speed.
Yeah.
And they probably instinctively have that quickness also, but you need to get that quickness harness. You need to be able to fly out of there and utilize the quickness in the change of direction.
How hard is that change going to be coming from him, going from a 2-gap to a
not hard at all?
Gap penetrating.
See, it's easier to go 2-gap to 1-gap than it is 1 to 2. Easier.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's easier to be aggressive.
Right.
It's easier to attack. Yeah. Trying to tell you to stop and to not do anything and don't be athletic and just stand there and maul each other. No. There's some good techniques that could be utilized from there because you've got to be able to create space once you're entangled with a guy, and then you've got to be able to get off of an individual. But the penetrating defense is for athletic guys where they can use their skill, their speed, their body size. You see Aaron Donald swimming over the top of a guy, and all of a sudden he's in the backfield creating havoc. Yeah, that's what this defense wants to do. And even if the initial surge doesn't get him, you've upset the timing of the original play to the point where now the pursuit should be able to close in on the guy and bring him down.
Where's Pickens fit in on this line with?
Well, it's either one of the two. One's going to be a 1, one's going to be a 3. So nose tackle, slanted nose tackle, 2-eye guy, and the other guy will be more of a 3 guy, a 3 outside of the offensive guard. So yeah, I think there's 2 perfect fits in there. In a system we played in Jacksonville, both guys had to be able to play 3 technique and a shade on the nose. Both guys did. Me, Don Davey, Calvin Pritchett, Jose White, whoever we had, Ronaldo Wynn, whoever was there, Seth Payne, all of us had to be able to play both. We'd get into a game, and sometimes one of the guys doesn't like playing on the nose, and I like playing on the nose. And they're like, Jurko, you play the nose, I'm going to go out here and be a 3 technique. Not a problem. I like playing over the center. He had to do something first. He had to snap the ball. You know what I'm saying?
Gives you a second.
Yeah. Gives me a little time to get my hands on the guy because that's what I needed to do, get my hands on the guy. So, yeah, I didn't have a problem with that. But both guys should be able to play both. That way you can play left, right, and just shift your defense over the way it needs to be shifted over. One guy may be more adept at one of the positions, and the other guy will then have to sacrifice.